Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video, we are going to discuss the line-by-line meaning and analysis of 9 gold medals, a famous poem by David Roth. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin. In stanza 1, we see that the poet mentions that the athletes, that is, the sports persons, the sports people who had come to take part in an Olympic game had come from all over the country. From different parts of the country, they had come to run for the gold medal, the silver and the bronze. And it is not just that they just got up from their bed one fine day, got ready and came here, but it is many weeks and months of training and preparation, hard work and sweat that had gone behind this whole event that was going to happen, and the athletes had finally come to test their caliber, their skill at this performance, at this event. In stanza 2, we see that the energy of the whole stadium, probably where the event was going to happen, it starts rising, it's lively, it's bubbling. People are cheering, the spectators, the audience who has come to witness this event, the enthusiasts, with their full energy. They have come to cheer for these men and women, the young ones who are here to take part in this event that is going to take place today. And the level of excitement had been increasing with each passing moment. In stanza 3, the excitement is building because the blocks are all lined up. That is, those points, the blocks are kept on the race course, and the 100-yard race is about to begin. The athletes who have taken part in this event and have worked so hard are all ready. They are determined with their strong aim and target, all targeting for the finishing line. They are standing on the starting line, poised or positioned for the sound of the gun. No, as soon as the gun will be shot, immediately they will have to run. So with utmost concentration and attention, they are all standing on the starting line. The final moment is there. The signal is given at this time. The pistol explodes and all the runners, because they were at their 100% concentration standing on the starting line, immediately on the sound of the shot of the gun, they charge or they run towards the finish line. But there is a twist. The smallest among them, that is, all these participants were as it is young, but the youngest or the smallest of them, something happens. He stumbles and staggers. He tends to lose his balance, and not just that, he fell to the asphalt instead. That is, he falls down, and imagine you've put in so much of effort and hard work all throughout. So much of time has been invested in preparation of this event, and ultimately if something like this happens, it is indeed very tragic. Now at this time, the focus shifts from all those other 8 athletes to this 9th one who has stumbled and fallen, and he cries in extreme frustration and anger. Obviously, he is bound to be angry and irritated at this time and be extremely sad, because his dreams, his efforts have all got mixed with the dirt. But as sure as I'm standing here telling this story, the same goes for what next occurred. So the first person, I, is mentioned in stanza 5. I'm standing here. That means that the whole poem was being narrated by one of the 9 athletes, right? So, and this is not the athlete who had fallen down, but the other one who was still, heading towards the finish line. So he has been narrating this story, and he says that something else which is of a unique nature will occur next. Now let's hear from the mouth of the athlete what exactly happens after this. And what is that unique thing that happens in stanza 6? We see that the 8 other runners, they pull up on their heels, whom? The other person who had fallen down, and one by one they all turned around and went back to help him and brought the young boy to his feet. So you can imagine, it's not just this boy alone who had put in hard work. All the other 8 athletes had equally put in the hard work and prepared for this final day. But they forget about what will happen in the future, whether they will be able to get any medal or not. And they come here out of utmost compassion and empathy for this other 9th athlete who has fallen down, because they too have put in hard work, so they know what it must be feeling like to see that you will not be able to win the race because all your other fellow athletes are going to ultimately make it to the finish line. So out of that, they come back and they help the other athlete who had fallen down and bring him back to his feet. And this is one of my favorite stanzas. Then all the 9 runners joined hands and continued the 100-yard dash, now reduced to a walk. Remember? So now you can see that they not just brought that other person up to his feet, but they all walk hand in hand, and they are walking, mind you, they were trained to run, but they knew that this other athlete who had fallen down has lost his capacity to run and take part in the competition again. So they forget about the result, the outcome of winning the medal, and they all walk hand in hand to the finish line, and a banner above them that said Special Olympics could not have been more on the mark. So this was a Special Olympics, hinting that these athletes were not normal human beings, but they were differently abled human beings. And because of that, they all had some or the other kind of disability, because of which they would not have been able to participate. It was not a normal Olympics. Okay, so seeing that, they were all the more compassionate, they were all the more sensitive to what that boy who had fallen down must have been feeling, and therefore they all come together to help him and all walk to the finishing line. In the final stanza of the poem, we see that that's how the race ended. With 9 gold medals, they came to the finish line holding hands still, and a standing ovation, and 9 beaming faces, beaming means shining faces, said more than these words ever will. Already they were receiving a lot of cheer, applause and appreciation from the audience. But more than that, that gesture that they all had come up with together of trying to help the other athlete who had fallen down, that gesture was in itself a great appreciation. And added to that, it is not just one person alone who won the medal. All the hard work of all these 9 athletes ultimately gets rewarded, and the poem ends on a very happy note, and it brings a lot of satisfaction to all those 9 athletes who had put their sweat and blood to participate and perform in this Special Olympics. To give you an overall view of what are the important aspects or themes that come out from our reading of the poem, firstly, brotherhood and compassion. So here we see the poem being a classic example of this, because they do not worry about their own selfish motive of winning the medal. They think about the greater good of that other athlete who has fallen down and the amount of hard work he must have put in. Next, competition versus collaboration. So this poem also stands as a classic example of healthy competition. They do not compete by pulling the other person down, and that is not how you are supposed to be having competition. Competition is supposed to be of equals. So if one person falls and suffers in this way, that's not called a good win. A good win is when you are collaborating in a kind of teamwork. And the poem also highlights victory versus loss, where it is the victory unanimously of all the 9 athletes, and it shows that human values have a lot of importance in the life of an individual. If you do not have good values, if you are negative, you are guided by jealousy, you will not be able to see the good for others. It is because the other athletes thought about the good of that other athlete who had fallen down. Because of that, ultimately they did get rewarded, and that is how life is like. You're not supposed to be taking revenge from others. No, you're not supposed to be jealous, but you're supposed to be having a good, compassionate, empathetic kind of an outlook and approach towards life. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching. Bye.